Now, I've always found the Krieghoff to be a little bit like the Blaser. They tend to be very, very marmitey. People either absolutely love them or they hate them. Now, other than having a handful of shots with them over the last couple of years, I've never properly spent any time with them. And I picked up the phone to Alan at Krieghoff UK, had a quick chat with him, and he very kindly sent me out this stunning K80 SuperSport. So let's go break a few clays with him. Pull. First impressions, that is absolutely lovely to shoot. Now you will see I've got the stock right down and that is dead flat for me. It's absolutely spot on. I don't find many stuff nowadays that gives you enough manoeuvrability for people like me to bring the stock low enough, so that's really, really nice. I'm shooting a mixture of Sovereign Parkours and the Pro 1s, and it is just soaking up the recoil, an absolute dream. Now, one thing I have done to try and make this review as unbiased as possible, I've not looked at the spec sheet. So I presume it's 32-inch barrels. I presume it's about £9. I've no idea what choke's in it. I'm just going to get it out, get it shot. Good honest opinion. Pull. They're nice and close in there. So I'm going to try the Piston 9s in the new blue case. They look really good in this. They look really, really smart. I've never really used 9s much. From our video that we did last year with Sean on shot size, it's just something now that I'm starting to keep in my kit bag a bit. Pull. 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 I think I need one of these. That has been an absolute just pleasure to shoot. I've always thought that the shape of the action has been a little bit ugly, but over the years I really have come to love it, and there are some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful examples out there. I mean, Ed Solomon's with the colour case harden, I think, is an absolute stonking looking gun. I don't want to put it away yet, and for that reason I'm going to go and finish on the Fit-Ass, on my favourite. I just want to spend as much time with this as possible. It is an absolute weapon, this is. Pull. 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 So I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't know much about Krieghoffs, and the only reason that this actually came about is because we've got a Model 32 in the shop at the moment, and I picked up the phone to Alan at Krieghoff UK to find out a little bit of information about it. We got chatting, and I said I'd never really shot one properly before, and he very, very kindly sent me this beautiful one out here. So if you're a little bit like me and you do want to know a little bit more about them, please head over to their website and their YouTube channel. There is some fantastic information on there. I have put the links in the description below. So the exciting bit, spec. So as I said earlier, I didn't look at the spec sheet. It comes with a precisely 31 5/8 inch barrel with the Krieghoff chokes in, which is choked at 1/2 and 5/8. It comes with a 14 5/8 in stock with the adjustable comb, and it tips the scales at £8.13, which I find absolutely amazing because it doesn't feel it. And if you're a Krieghoff shooter or you've shot one, you'll know what I mean by this. It just, for such a big heavy gun, it's just so nimble and manoeuvrable. And the balance on it, I mean, the balance is absolutely like smack on the joint. I mean, that was rubbish balance, but there you go. That's just on the joint pin. And I don't think you can get any better than that. And obviously, I think the reason down to that is obviously Krieghoffs have got quite that big square action. And what it does is it puts the weight in between the hands. Now, we all know that you can chuck some barrel weights on something or some stock weights on to balance it up. But it never feels quite right because the weighting that is trying to balance the gun is outside of the hands. So there's always additional weight, front or back. Whereas this, the weight is in between the hands beautifully. And it just makes it feel so effortless to shoot. You know, big long targets you've got nice and control, and you would think obviously a heavier gun comes into its own there, but fast, quick targets just punch out and it just moves. It just moves. I mean, it is such a tool. I mean, there's no wonder that you see so many of these at registered shoots because they take the stick and they keep working and they're just so well engineered. I mean, take a look at one of these inside, and I personally think they are a little bit over-engineered and they are a little bit complex and they can be a bit difficult to work on, which is why obviously everybody sends it back to the man that knows what he's doing, old Mr. Rhone, and he is one of the best. But they just, when they work really, really well, and they will just take a pounding. And like I said on the day, we were shooting Pro 1s, Sovereign Parkours. It was like shooting Compex 21 gram. It just soaked it up. Just the recoil, or the perceived recoil for me, was just, well, there wasn't really any. There was hardly any muzzle flip, none of that. It really was a joy to shoot. And like I've said at the start of the video, I do find they're a bit of a Marmite gun. People absolutely love them, or they absolutely hate them. I will admit, I do think there are prettier models. This is the vintage scroll. It is really nicely done, but I do like those full scroll with the colour case hardening. I think that is just beautiful. Now, to me, from the shooting experience, nothing else, because like I said, I don't know enough about them to talk about the mechanics of them, but from the shooting experience, there is one thing that let it down. And I spoke to Alan about this, and he says that I am probably one of the only people that has mentioned this, is that the lack of palm swell for me. I like something a bit more substance to the grip. Again, got the usual problem where hand hangs off the bottom of the grip because I've got fairly long hands. And that palm swell just isn't, it's not quite enough for me. There's not enough to get hold of there. But according to Alan, most of the clay shooters out there like a very, very subtle palm swell, if not one at all. And obviously, that's what they've got here on the stocks. I have shot one, well, two actually, with custom measurements on, obviously Mr. Jeminson's being one of them, and another one just at Cockits the other week, just had a quick shot with it. And they got bigger, longer pistol grips, bigger palm swells, and that really, really did suit me down to a T. It's one of those guns, like the Blazers, I've always disliked them. I've never liked the look of them. They're a copy of that horrible old Remington over and under. But you see so many people shooting them, and if that many people shoot them, there's got to be something good about them. And there is. I mean, it's probably one of the nicest things that I've shot for a while. It really is. And I mean, unfortunately for many of us, like me, the price point on them is not obtainable. It's not something that I could go and purchase. But there are plenty out there, and some good second-hand ones all over the place. So just, if you are looking for one, have a dig online, see what you can find. I mean, the new prices on them are big, but I appreciate, this is at the top of its game in what it does. You know, this is the Ferrari, this is the Porsche of the shooting world. You know, they are the best, the most well engineered, and they do that job, and they do it really well. I really thought shooting it, I'd just be like, meh, not bothered. Because it's such a big, heavy gun, I just presumed from the get-go that it would be a bit lifeless. And I was completely and utterly wrong there. And I hold my hands up and say, you know, completely opposite to what I thought it would be. They're just a big clunky thing. You know, when you close it, you know, there's such a clunk to it. It is just a lump, a brute of a thing. And I just looking at it, you know, you look at it there, it is a bit of a monster. And you just think it's going to be a heavy, soulless, lifeless steam pipe for throwing shot down. But I was completely, utterly wrong on that. It performed beautifully. You know, close, fast targets, on them. Long, steady targets, on them. Just, I don't know. If you've shot one, you'll know. If you haven't, go find one, go have a play. And I promise you, you won't regret it. Your bank account might regret it, but you won't. So thank you for watching this week, guys. Again, a huge thank you to Alan Rhone at Krieghoff UK for sending this out. I am extremely grateful. Please do check them out, and we will see you next week with another video.